What are the 5 worst foods for your IBS, Crohn's, or colitis? My name's Mike, the Heal Your Gut Guy, and I want to show you what I did to get better, and I've helped many other people get better too. And if you want to see everything that I did to get better from start to finish, go watch my webinar. So the first food is hot spices. Right here I'm holding pepper spray. You want to know why they call it pepper spray? Because they make it from peppers. There's a chemical in here called capsicum. If you get enough of it in your eyes, you will go blind. If you had a wound on your arm, you probably wouldn't put pepper spray on it. So when you eat these hot spices and you have IBS, Crohn's, or colitis, you're essentially pepper spraying the open wounds in your gut. Even though you should avoid this while you're getting better, I want you to note that there are people eating hot, spicy foods every single day and they don't have IBS, Crohn's, or colitis. Why is that? So the next food to avoid is alcohol. And this is because it puts more stress on a body that's already doing a lot of work. IBS, Crohn's, and colitis puts a lot of extra stress on the body. But I also want you to be aware of there are people who drink way too much alcohol and they don't have IBS, Crohn's, or colitis. Why is that? I'll answer this in the next one. So when I first started my gut healing journey, I was first told that you should stay away from dairy. And that made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I said, how could, it's baby food. A baby's digestive system is underdeveloped. It can't, you're telling me I can't digest the easiest to digest food on the planet? It literally makes no sense. It might be genetic. What are you talking about? I am as European as it gets. We've been drinking dairy for years and years and years. How could I possibly be dairy intolerant? I've had dairy my whole entire life and I had no issues with it. Why do I have issues with it now? I started to find out these books right here make it crystal clear that IBS, Crohn's, and colitis is actually caused by stress. Here's a lab study right here that shows they can induce IBS, Crohn's, and colitis in the rats just by stressing them out. This is a book by Dr. Burrell Crohn's, the founders of Crohn's disease, and the first page of this book says people with IBS, Crohn's, or colitis, they're super stressed out people. And they usually go to the hospital after a very stressful episode, such as going through a divorce, final exams on papers, getting fired from a job, having money problems, having tax problems, problems with the government. During stressful times, that's when somebody has a flare. This is a book right here where their colitis was so bad they could see their intestines. They were like hanging out of them. It was pretty gross. But when they would talk about something that made these people angry, their intestines would turn bright red, the intestinal muscles would start to freak out and move really fast, and they would get diarrhea. Then when they talked about something that made them happy or was neutral, the intestinal muscles would go back to a normal movement and it would go back to a healthy pink color. The color of the intestines. I totally get it. I used to be right where you were. I would go on YouTube and try to figure out what detox protocol I need to do, what do I need to do for my gut microbiome, what foods do I need to eat, what foods do I need to avoid. I did that for years. I couldn't have made the process any better. But when I started to use something called G&M and understand that it was caused by the stress in my life, which I had a hard time seeing at first, but then I realized I have horrible anger issues. I'm angry. I was angry all the time. And that was putting my gut in and out of overdrive. When I started to get that anger in my life under control, I literally put on 30 pounds in 2 or 3 months. And that's years of eating perfectly, years of doing testosterone therapy, years of working with a personal trainer and shoveling whey protein into me. I go over all these details in my webinar, which you'll see at the end here, but we still have 2 more foods to go. So the next food is gluten. This is the next thing you're going to be told to stay away from. When I first started on my journey, I did specific carbohydrate diets, FODMAPs, GAPS, paleo. Grains are bad. Gluten is bad. Now, gluten is protein. Protein stems from the Greek word proteus, which means of the utmost importance. Protein is the most important nutrient, and they're telling you to be afraid of it. If you look at the mineral composition of the body, it's hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, and then nitrogen. Nitrogen is by far the most important mineral that we need to get in our body, and protein is nitrogen. Amino acids are nitrogen. So my whole entire life I ate gluten and I had 0 symptoms. I went on a specific carbohydrate diet, GAPS diet, I changed my subconscious belief about gluten, I believe that it was toxic and bad on a subconscious level. What is the body going to do when this toxin enters me? And I believe that. I can either vomit it back up or I can diarrhea it out of me. That's that. If when I subconsciously believe that this is dangerous and it enters me, the body's going to try to get rid of it. But this all went away, and I've helped many other people do this when they learn the basics of G&M and they understand that their gut issues are caused by stress and not by food. Unless you're stressing out about food or somehow food is linked to the conflict. Now, the next food people are going to tell you to avoid is sugar. And I disagree with this because your body is burning through a ton of calories and you're not absorbing a lot of this food. The average person burns about 2,000 calories a day. You, on average, are probably burning somewhere around 3 just because you have IBS, Crohn's, and colitis. It's extra stress on the body. This gets absorbed, digested, and absorbed in your stomach. It is instant energy that requires no digestion and no extra work from your intestines. Is it the most nutritious food in the world? No, but it is one of the most energy-dense foods in the world. And your body is starving for energy, especially if you're rapidly losing weight. And this just gets automatically absorbed into your bloodstream. There requires zero digestion. And to bring this full circle, especially if you have IBS or colitis, none of these foods even touch your colon. The colon doesn't digest food. So how is eating easy to digest foods is supposed to help out your colon? So what I'm trying to tell you in this video is don't blame food for your symptoms. Instead, look for the stressful situation in your life that put your gut into overdrive and kind of see how you could have blamed food. Oh yeah, it was during a breakup. I started to get really bad diarrhea. And then I went on YouTube and they told me not to eat gluten. And that's when I decided gluten was bad. Where in reality, I've had gluten my whole entire life. And it was, girlfriend drama that was putting my gut in and out of overdrive. That's how we need to start to look at this. So if you want all the details about G&M and exactly what I did and what I have and how I work with other people to help them get better, click on this video right here and I'll show you everything I did to get better. Bye-bye.